it's more about the music than about the people that are creating it, you know, because it's the music that is getting all the kids out there and dancing and stuff. And I'm just pretty much on that kind of vibe where we just wanted to keep everything straight for the beats. They were the labels of Frank de Wolf, and he was like one of the early innovators of the Belgian techno scene. And that sort of influenced pretty much the whole of Europe and spread across through to America. And the kind of stuff we were doing back then was more sort of off the back end of the acid house kind of thing. Because this was going back to what, early 90s? So it was pretty much that kind of sort of rolling, sweeping acid bass lines and sort of hard, strict 909 percussion sounds. Well, I've always been dabbling on the decks, you know, since we got into producing. And after you produce like so many tracks, you know, you got some decks there, you got all these tracks there, and, you know, just like one thing leads to another, and then the tracks just end up on the decks, and then the next thing you're playing them. My bag's pretty much packed with like stuff that I've done, like with my boys back home, you know, all the player guys, the punish guys, people that I've worked with, friends of mine, and that's how I kind of keep my set pretty tight to, rather than just kind of playing the general flow of the kind of stuff that most other guys are out there playing, which is the stuff that are breezing through the shops that month. It's more like a jukebox kind of thing. I just kind of bring in a flavour of where I come from to. Well, when the whole thing kicked off, sort of beginning of the 90s, sort of late 80s, we used to put on parties, and just from chucking the sound systems together and getting the DJs coming in and playing, it pretty much puts you straight in at the deep end, you know. And it was a pretty different kind of music, so the kind of stuff that was around, you know, before it actually did emerge to the Summer of Love in, what was it, 1990 or something. And it pretty much took the whole country by storm, especially in the, you know, like, especially it did in England, that's for sure. Everyone was out partying constantly. It would be like, weekend would start on Tuesday, and it'd finish sort of like Monday night. I've just always been into music, you know, ever since I've been at school, been into music, playing in bands, and it's been the only thing that I've ever done. So, I mean, if you've got music in you, it doesn't matter what kind of music you're doing, you're not going to up doing anything else but doing music. These days, pretty much tied in with my laptop, my G4, running my Cubase, and like for years and years of samples are now just in that hard drive. So all the synths that we used to have set up through the sort of 12, 13 years that I've been producing are now basically just a memory in a sample bank in the computer, so it can just draw anything from those sounds over the years, and it's back on track again. As soon as I started producing, it was just like sort of the next stage, really. So if you're making records, there they are, and they're not doing anything. Just get them on there and spin them. And then things just started falling together, and then people sort of wanted to play at parties as well. And like one thing led to another again, and it'll just all sort of, beat keeps moving, you know. Average label will probably, a couple of years ago, probably have a run of 1,000 records or something, you know, that's pretty underground. And these days, I'd say they're probably doing half that, and that's down to the internet and MP3s available, DJs taking stuff onto CDs and not really supporting your local record shops. Techno is like the sort of cutting edge of the dance music thing. Tried and tested stuff on the techno dance floor, like years later, finds its way into the other genres of music. So, but by the time someone else is doing it, you know, the techno crowd have moved on. I mean, there's a lot of new people starting to make music these days. You know, you hit the shops and stuff, and you're seeing releases from people you've never heard of before with like debut EPs out. There's just so much stuff. Some of the big boys probably not pulling the weight that they should be doing. But then again, some of them, like for example, Beltram's got an album out at the moment, Joey Beltram, and it's just probably one of the best things to hit the shops, I'd say, for months. Just stick with it. because it's going off out there. There's some messed up people out there. I've seen them tonight.
There certainly is.
And I'm looking forward to destroying them in about half an hour. So.